Hey, my name is Elisha Mamman, the convener of the winning mindset. And today I just want to share a story with you that I learned from. And that story has been able to inspire and helped me in many, many ways. Actually, it's the story of a man who had two sons, particularly two boys. Uh, we don't know how many daughters, but he has two sons. And he was a wealthy man, practically wealthy by all definitions. Maybe today we will say he's maybe a billionaire in foreign currencies. And his two sons were well schooled. They are well groomed, just like the current billionaires in our days. The children attend Ivy League schools, and these two boys particularly schooled in the best of schools around the world. And after school, they decided to return home to be with their father. And the older brother decided to take up a job in the father's business, while the younger brother, you can consider him this tech generation boys. He's at home using his computer, maybe he's into even crypto, maybe he's into forex. Just a young boy that was just enjoying being the son of a wealthy man, while the older brother actually took up a proper job in the father's business. Over time, but the amazing thing about their father was the father had his sons in mind. He had an amazing plan for his two boys, whereby he had structured how these two boys are going to be provided for all through their lives. But the father got a surprise. The younger one didn't have much patience. The younger one asked the father if he wouldn't mind to give him what he has put in store for him. In simple words, the father should be able to give him his portion, his inheritance, knowing fully well that his father was wealthy. Amazingly, I can tell you the father was not Nigerian, because if the father was Nigerian, there would be a problem in that conversation. But the father was nice enough to, he gave it to the boy. And don't forget, the elder brother didn't ask for anything. The brother was contented being the MD of one of the companies where the father was chairman and the father owned. And then the father gave the younger son his portion. I want you to imagine how much that boy got in terms of cash, real estate, and everything, because that boy was sustained without work for 10 years. He was going around the world, having fun time, Maldives, Seychelles, Hawaii. He was just having fun, driving the best of cars, wearing the best of clothes. And after 10 years, it was surprising to know that he lost all. He lost all. Everything was spent. And things began to happen to him that you won't imagine it will ever happen to any rich kid. He had to pick up a job in a dry cleanish business. He had to pick up a small job where it couldn't even sustain a basic lifestyle for him. And the elder brother was doing well, working for the father's company, having a lot of employees under him, works and lives in his father's mansion. And that story was very insightful for me when I realized that though the elder brother was working with the father, everything, he had issues with his father. And these issues were never spoken, but they were silent. He had issues with his father. And so at the end of the day, the younger brother realized what he did, and he decided to return back to his father. And if I was the father, of course that boy would pay dearly for wasting my money and coming back home. And what am I trying to say? There are a few lessons here, because for the younger brother there was a welcome back. For the elder brother that was always around, he lost a lot. And so there's a lot for us to learn, because if you are always around, you should be the one benefiting the most. And So from that story, I developed 5 forces that I saw in that story that is capable of changing the life of any man. That these 5 steps can change anybody's life. And so we'll look at those 5 things simply today, and every other day when I return, I will discuss each force as a single system for growth, for change, and for transformation. So number 1 system in that story, when you look at that story, I told you, I said the man had 2 sons. The first thing I saw there was relationship. Many people have talked about relationship and how powerful it is. But let me tell you something. Relationship is actually a currency. You can exchange it with anything valuable in life. One wise man I love dearly said, if everything you buy, you use money, then you are not truly rich. There are certain things in your life that your relationship should be able to buy for you. And for this young boy, he realized the power of relationship. And everything he got in the beginning of his life were product of what? Relationship. His relationship with his father gave him access to a lot of money, a lot of education, a lot of wealth. Every one of us can benefit from a relationship. There are relationships in our lives that carry so much value. Don't forget, the father had 2 sons. That is relationship. And because of that, they have benefited from that relationship. The next thing I would like to talk about is resources. Resources. Many of us are broke today, not because we lack resources, but because we lack resourcefulness. You see, resourcefulness is the key to accessing resources. Resourcefulness is knowing what you have and knowing how to leverage what you have. This young boy knows that there is resources in his relationship. So he leveraged on the resourcefulness, and he leveraged on what he had, which is a father, to get what he wanted, which is money. The father had resources, but the son needed resourcefulness to access what? The resources. Number 3, what I saw there again in that story was responsibility. Now, the first thing you must understand that you cannot be irresponsible with resources and stay rich. Irresponsibility is one of the fastest way to lose money. Irresponsibility, meaning a kind of lifestyle you adopt can cost you being rich. The boy began life being irresponsible because of how much money and how much wealth he had access to. And he lost all by being irresponsible. But over time, this same boy came to his mind and realized that if I can lose it by irresponsibility, it means I can gain it by being responsible. Being responsible is taking action with your future in mind. Responsibility is you knowing you have an ability to take certain steps that can get you certain outcomes. The next thing I saw in this story is resolve. When this boy realized everything, he made up his mind. I was in a conference last weekend, and a friend of mine said that the first step to every kind of wealth is the resolve. That is a firm decision to be wealthy. This boy made a firm decision to return to a place of abundance from that place where he has sunk to, which was a place of lack. Resolve is very important. Resolve is not New Year resolution. Resolve is a firm decision that there is an outcome you want and you are willing to do what is necessary to get that outcome. And the last point I saw in that story was resilience. This boy, over many years, lacked, having lost what he did. He didn't come back immediately. Now listen, resilience is the ability to endure hardship with an expectation that it will get better. You are not resilient if you don't believe in comeback. When you pull a rubber band he returns. The expectation is that no matter how stretched I am, I will come back to my original state. That boy knew one way or the other that he can get back to his original state if he can only stay this part, if he can endure this period, if he can go through this difficult time. I don't know which of you is listening to this story. I know I'm going to come back here to talk about each point one after the other. But listen to me. These 5 steps, these 5 forces are capable of changing your life dramatically. Number 1, remember, relationships. Who is in your life? Who are you connected with will determine what flows to you. Number 2, resourcefulness. They are the key to accessing resources. Resourcefulness is leveraging what you have so you can attract what you want. Number 3, responsibility. The ability to respond to life properly so you can get what you desire. Number 4, resolve. Resolve is a firm decision to go in a particular path, notwithstanding danger, pain, or difficulty. And lastly, resilience, the ability to endure hardship with an expectation that things will be all right. I hope you enjoyed my story. I will come back and we will take each point one after the other. Thank you for watching me, and I'll see you next time.